All right, welcome back. Sorry, Biashara Tuesday, still on air. Hashtag Biashara Tuesday at KUTV_Kenya. We're having too much fun here in studio. So if you are feeling some FOMO, pole sana, so much that is going on behind the scenes. However, let's get back to much more on business. Remember, you're streaming live. Make sure unatuachia pale comment, and also on the SMS, WhatsApp numbers, and also tag me at Richard_Okenya right about now. Let's get into food. Najua kama uliamka at 7 or 6 a.m. or 4 for some of us who had to make sure we are in this show as early as we can, or 3 for my producer. Here is it's time to speak about food, yeah? So kama uko nyumbani and you're trying to make yourself some breakfast, do you have any spices around? Yeah? I know in my house the only spice I have is Richie spice. And, I'm trying to get more spices into my kitchen. I'm having that conversation with Stephen Mashua, the director of Piquant Spices. I have some of those here on set. Premium quality mixed spices. Zimesimama hapa hivi. Let me not preempt. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Yeah. And
introduce yourself. You are. I don't
know whether you had tea before you came here.
I haven't yet.
Okay.
Just hot water.
So apparently our tea masala is your go-to pack.
Nice. For this morning.
Has the ability of boosting moods.
For real.
Yeah. So probably you might need it for your tomorrow shows.
Thank you. This is nice packaging. Is this something that you do yourself, or how does that go?
Yeah, we do everything from scratch, like from raw materials all the way to the whole manufacturing process to where you're seeing the product now.
Right. You're the director of Piquant Spices, also the founder?
Yes. So I have a co-director. So we are two. My co-director is known as SK Kamau. So apparently the whole of this week we are doing production. So he's actually in the factory as we talk.
Okay.
So he's taking charge of the production process. And I'm here, and immediately after this I'll just get off this fancy dressing and just get on my dust coat and all sort of stuff.
So you're also hands-on?
Yeah, I'm hands-on, because being a startup, it means we don't have a lot of workforce, so we have to be the ones doing literally almost everything. You're the one trying to do the quality control during production process. You're the one at Marikiti early in the morning trying to sort out the best ginger. You're the one in Isli trying to look for the best black pepper or the best cinnamon rolls. So it's such a hands-on business, and it's one of the businesses that I've found pretty exciting in the sense that you can see the transformation. When you're looking at like a cinnamon stick, what people call mguu ya kitanda. You've had people go
ile wanauma kwa
pilau. So just seeing that cinnamon stick being mixed with other spices and ending up into such an aromatic tea masala or making such a delicious pilau. I think for me, I tend to appreciate the process.
Right.
Yeah.
You love that transformation.
That transformation. And
it has to be beautiful, especially if you're hands-on and you've been involved in the process.
Exactly. And the beauty of it is when it gets to our clients' houses, into families. And the next feedback you're getting from a mom is, my kids are now loving tea. They were no longer they were not liking tea before, but with your tea masala, they've become like tea addicts. So that in itself tells you that you're making a product that is consumable, or that is meant for whole family use. Right. And through this, all these things were intentional. And ideally, or by default, we found a lot of families shying away from spices, predominantly because of two things. One, a spice like pilau, we find a lot of people saying they get heartburns as soon as they have pilau. For tea, most people complain of it being too hot, such that it can be consumed by kids and all. But we found a way in our formulation, we found a way of striking a balance to the point where kids are the ones who are asking for our tea masala more than any other member of the family.
Okay.
So that tells you there's a solution we found for tea. On pilau, personally, I was one person who never used to consume pilau because of heartburns and everything around that. And the moment we started producing Piquant Spices Pilau Masala, and we got to the point of understanding what is that causes heartburns.
Right. So
personally, I mean, it's been it was my personal solution, and now it's serving as a solution to many other people.
Okay.
Anyone who has consumed our pilau masala has come back to say, you know what, I've never had pilau. I mean, this is the first time I'm having pilau, and I've not had a heartburn.
Right.
So I'm just going to be
using your
pilau masala.
Right. And we are showing some of those spices on air, by the way, right at this moment. You can have a look at that and tell us kama unataka kuongezewa moja yao in the house, as we also see how the production process looks like, because I want to know how this began as well, and the production from sourcing the ingredients, as you said, beautiful transformation from the looking at a cinnamon stick, or looking at ginger. I'm hoping that's also one of the offerings, and many other of these. How do you get them? What does that quality control look like? Because you also mentioned the issue of heartburns that people have, but when they get to use your product, they find that it's it's good and it's all right for their health. So how's that informed in the production process? Because you're also taking into consideration various people who might be having allergies or might be having issues with a few spices here and there. How does it get to a point where now you already catered for this market, or does it have to go back to the do you have to get feedback first and then maybe change how you've been doing the production and all of that process? But maybe let's begin with, when did you begin, and the sourcing from, are there farmers involved, and how does that look like? Okay,
so we began the whole process in around April, May last year. And the first stage is normally like doing a business registration, trying to secure the name. So getting to arrive at the name Piquant Spices, it took like 2 months. Because we were trying to look at a name that would serve the global market, but still resonate with the locals. And Piquant Spices was a very hard name to arrive at, because every time we felt like, will Kenyans have a pronunciation issue, right?
Like Piquant?
Will it be Piquant? Will it be Piquant? All that. But at the end of the day, we were like, okay, fine. You know what? Can still go with this and see how the market responds to it.
What does piquant mean?
Piquant means stimulating to the mind. It has that aspect of bringing happiness, boosting the moods and all. So it stays true and live to the purpose of the spices. Okay. So yeah, we tried that aspect of we started that aspect of branding and business registration. April, May, June, thereabout. Then it took some bit of time before we got a space where we could learn how to make the spices. So it started with an intention. Then the next step was to figure out where are we going to produce these spices from,
right?
Because we need machinery, and we don't have so much money to set up our own factory. And it was quite interesting, because the first place we went to was actually in Kirinyaga. There's Kenya Industrial Estate. They have a common manufacturing space over there, but then it doesn't have machinery. It's just an empty space. Okay. So we were too ambitious that we wanted to import our own machine. And bring it to Kirinyaga at KIA. But I think after a few consultations with a few friends, and I must give credit to one Linda Chepkwony, who was by then producing honey at Kirdi. Kenya Industrial Research and Development Institute. And she told me, you know what, you can actually come to Kirdi and they have machinery, and probably it might be cheaper for you to come and just even be trained on how to make the spices. And later on you get to be incubated for quite some time. And I followed her instructions, and by around August we were signed up at Kirdi.
Nice.
And in September we started now the product development process, which entailed first going through the training to understand the science behind aroma.
Okay.
You know,
did you know this before?
No, I actually don't have a background in food.
So this was just purely out of passion and then learning as you go?
Let's say it was just a nice coincidence.
Okay.
Though I've always wanted to get into manufacturing, and perhaps spices were a good entry point.
Okay.
But the most critical thing around now the learning the process was appreciating. Actually, ginger is usually super strong, and you know, just that coming to understand that the most important part of a ginger is actually the ngozi.
And we peel out and
the one we usually peel out. So learning how to, like when you're trying to prepare a ginger, we usually use a soft brush just to ensure that we're not scraping off the skin. And you know, just understanding these things, and you know, for things like pilau, we have to roast to activate some essential oils that are within that hold the aroma in things like cardamoms or in things like nutmeg. So I mean, just understanding all those small.
I'm getting mind blown because
exactly.
I thought, you know, we usually think it's just food.
No, you just don't arrive at that. And now the exciting part in the whole product development process was the formulations. You know, coming up with the first formula and sending out to different parts of the country. You know, the coast, central Kenya, the western, the Rift Valley, and just trying to get feedback that would inform a product that can be consumed by the whole country. So getting through that process of doing the first formula, the second formula, the third formula was pretty exciting. So what we have here now is actually the fifth formula, and everything you see here has been informed by Kenyans. It has been informed by consumers, people who took the product, had it on their tried it with their families, tried it with their kids, and you know, whatever feedback they gave us, it enabled us to keep on revising the formulas until we got to what we can call our optimal or our magic formula right now.
Is that going to be a continuous process, maybe where next time we'll get another one and then you have the 10th?
Yeah, most likely yes, but so far we've got like very good reviews, and as you say, you have to stay with what people want. If people like our pilau, our tea masala the way it is right now, then we ought to
change
we ought to maintain that. And if anything, we can only probably make it a little bit better, right? Just try to check on the loose ends around the composition or around the formulation. Right.
In that production process, quality control, how do you ensure that what is inside here then is, you know, as you said, there are some who've been using spices and they find they have allergic reactions and stuff like that. And we do also want them to enjoy food in the way that, you know, these aromas, as you said, and the taste that are with these spices. How do you do that, you know, quality control to ensure that what is getting there is fine for most of the population, really? Okay.
So maybe I might just want to take you through the basics that we do. So anytime we take the raw materials, like let me take an example of ginger. Like yesterday we went to Marikiti early in the morning. By 7 a.m. we got our ginger, right? It has all this soil on it. It's you know, it's dirty. It's generally dirty. So the first process is certainly cleaning. getting these raw materials clean as possible. If it's things like cardamoms and cinnamons, you'll always find stones and cobwebs around some of these cinnamon rolls. In cardamoms, in most cases, you'll find like there are stones. So all these are foreign materials, right? They are not supposed to be consumed. So the first thing is eliminating that, and that's the process of sorting and cleaning. And that guarantees it guarantees the aroma, and number two, it eliminates some of these challenges, right? The second process is dehydration, where we put the already cleaned and wet raw materials into a dryer. Now, in a dryer, the dryer has to be clean. It has to run at a certain temperature, just to ensure that it's not burning. Because if it burns, then it might also get you to that challenge of heartburns. So the dehydration process is also a very regulated process. However much we are using an electric dryer, an automated electric dryer, in a way, we have to keep on checking whether they are dry enough, right, to avoid to ensure that we've taken out all the moisture, such that once you draw out the moisture, you're increasing the shelf life.
Okay.
And you're ensuring that you're not running the risk of aflatoxin or things that might grow within your product due to the moisture.
Okay.
So that's also another part of quality control, ensuring that the products are well dehydrated.
Okay.
Part of the risk that maybe people who do this casually is you put it out in the sun and you think that it has dried. Yet sometimes you're not able to achieve the moisture content that can keep the product safe for a very long time.
All right. That's quality control.
That's quality control.
Right. And you said sourcing is something that you go and do yourself in the market.
Yes. Okay. We ensure that and that's why I'm saying it's a very interesting process. Everything is handpicked. We ensure that everything that we have is pretty much under our control.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And now, where do these spices come from? I know they are in the market. Are they done by farmers in Kenya, or where I come from, there are no cinnamon farms and ginger farms and all of that. How do you ensure that the raw materials is not running out?
So right now we are highly depending on aggregators. Aggregators in the name of retailers and wholesalers. And that's why I mentioned Marikiti, because at least there we have access to a couple of farmers, but at least we usually know part of our ginger comes from Kiambu and Kisii. So at least from the person we buy from, right?
You're ensuring that there's constant...
and we're ensuring that at least it's a quality that we can trace. Because at the end of the day, the spices are sensitive. So you get bad ginger, you get bad cinnamon, it goes to the aroma, to the final aroma of the product. For things like the cloves, the cinnamon, the cardamoms, they're a bit foreign in a way, and they do so well in places like Zanzibar and our coast region, Kilifi, those sides of Malindi. So ideally, at one point you might end up having maybe a mix of maybe cardamoms from a place like Kilifi or a place like Malindi, and others from Zanzibar. So on the aggregator side, we might say we don't have so much control, or we might not be able to do a lot of tracing back. But then that's because of our capacity at the moment. We are still a startup, right? So but it's something that we are very keen on in terms of tracing what the aggregator gets or where the aggregator gets the product from. But the beauty of it is we have institutions in the country that are able to regulate the whole process and ensure that whatever is getting into the market or whatever is being consumed by the public is within the required standards.
Here's a funny question.
Yeah.
Once the spices are done, maybe you did this. This is mixed. This is pilau, right?
Yeah.
do you go and make pilau yourself, and then you're there adding the spice, and then you're like, oh, this is good for the market? Or do you have tasters in the factory just waiting for you to finish and then taste the spices?
So surprisingly, I called myself the chief tasting officer.
Okay.
For some reasons, I developed. I don't know whether it was innate or, but yeah, I have. I've actually been the one who've been tasting the spices and even doing the smelling.
Right.
Like especially when we are roasting the pilau. Sometimes you might mix the ingredients, and then when you get that to the oven, it doesn't activate as fast. And we tried to do an experiment with my colleagues, and I turned out to be the person who gets the optimal smell or optimal aroma, like who is able to get the optimal point where we can say the pilau masala imeiva,
I see.
Or when we can say like this is the time we need to remove the ingredients from the oven. So I've had to do that more often. But on preparing food, yes, we do that, because again, we also don't want to release a batch that we are not comfortable with, or that we are not. If there's something off about it, then we might just want to check on to pull it back, or check what might be missing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I grew up in an environment or in a compound where people are just using nyanya and vitungu, right?
Yeah.
And coriander. Also, I hear it's called dania. Weka dania hapo, right? And then when I come to the city, I'm told tuweke pilau masala, tuweke nini, and now trying to, of course, inform someone who's not been using spices for their whole life that what is the importance for them to expand their palate, and to have spices improve the taste of their food. How can they move away from saying nyanya na kitunguu na
run away from mashakura?
Yeah, and then mashakura that has nothing else added.
Yeah.
And expanding their palate and having this in their food.
Yeah, I know it's a big problem, especially in central Kenya.
Yeah.
Mount Kenya, the likes of Felista was just there a few minutes ago. Pendi spices.
Hi, Felista.
But so I mean, it's also about culture change, and I saw it even in my own homestead. Like, I mean, my parents, they started consuming spices for the first time from Piquant spices.
Ooh. Nice.
Earlier on, if you told them like you need to put tea masala in your tea, then like,
you're crazy.
It's crazy. Me, I just want my tea in its raw form. It's also about the culture, and I think people from tea growing areas have it's actually feedback I got from people from tea growing areas. They like their tea in its natural form,
as natural as it came.
But then they forget that when you add spices, you're actually adding more health benefits to yourself, because each of these ingredients has a health benefit, and we can make Google our good friend. Things like cinnamon is usually very good with chest and congestion. We've seen people doing ginger, a concoction of ginger and other spices.
What they call dawa.
And it helps a lot with flu and a lot of cold stuff. And though this is unsubstantiated, one customer told me that they were having COVID-like symptoms, and they had to take the tea masala as a remedy.
Right.
And it's sort of like it had a soothing effect to their sore throat. It kind of made them a little more comfortable. And that goes into the properties, the health benefits of each of the ingredients that we use. And as I keep on insisting, and I want everyone to know, is our products are 100% natural. We don't add anything. It's whether it's black pepper seed, we get it in its it's in its raw form and in its plant form. If it's ginger, we get it fresh. and we dry. We clean it, we slice it, we dry it. So
in the end, it's just ginger in there. There's nothing.
Yeah, it's ginger in there. There's nothing added into it, and I believe that might also speak to the people who've been writing off spices, because I think what we grew up knowing as spices were artificially made spices.
Right.
And I don't want to mention brands.
Okay.
But we grew up knowing artificially made spices, and we've never got to a point where we are appreciating natural spices. Let's go to things like nutmeg.
Right.
It's meant to boost libido and men's performance, and it has been used in other countries, right? So it's actually one of the components in our mixed spices and our tea masala.
Which one is that?
See, you're getting a lot of interest in this, but yeah. Okay. So it's it's in small form. So yeah. but it just speaks to
there are benefits.
Yeah, it just speaks to
right?
It just speaks to the benefits of all these spices when they're combined in such a product.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is there experimentation that maybe you're doing? Trying out mixing spices, and how will that lead? What can we get from that? Yeah,
I actually have like 3 more products that I want to add into this portfolio, which are sort of out of the norm. It's not the popular spices. So we are still doing the experimentation, and hopefully maybe in a couple of months or in a year or so, we might be able to come up with that product.
Right.
Part of it is also trying to speak to the unique needs of consumers. People are always on the move. They might not be able to sit down and make their what do you call it? Make their tea masala. Or they don't have that time to keep on it, get a pot, mix the tea and the spices. So ideally, they might be we might want to speak to the needs of such a client base.
Okay.
And that's where our formulation is working around. But we already have sachets. It's actually tea masala sachets. It's what we will be launching soon.
Is this also what I have here?
That's still powder.
Okay.
Yeah, but we have the masala sachet, masala tea bags. Okay. Oh, sorry, yeah.
Tea bags.
Tea bags, yeah. That's what I meant.
I'm wondering.
It's a tea bags, yeah. Okay. So yeah, because we noted a lot of people want to carry their the office, the meme around someone in our office who is always working in a hot water bottle with 2 lemons and a cucumber.
Yeah.
Now we want them to be walking around with our tea bags.
Right. We have a couple of those around here, working around with tea bags.
I could actually see them around the studio.
Yeah. So how do you price this?
It's pretty affordable. So the 10 grams sachet goes for 20 shillings only.
Oh.
So it's meant to serve Mkenya wa kawaida. That person who always has like an extra 20 shillings to spare, right? And with that, you can do 4 to 6 cups, depending on how strong you want your tea to be, right? With the pilau, you can do half a kg of rice. Again, it depends on how strong you want.
And that's still 20 bob?
Yeah, it's still 20 shillings.
All right, so the sachets are 20.
And we were very intentional about giving people quality products in quality packaging. Because we noted that a lot of manufacturers tend to look at the low-income consumers and people who don't value quality.
Right, and they produce some lackluster branding.
Yeah, sorry?
Right. They produce some lackluster branding, something that's not appealing to.
Yeah, that's the thing. And that's why we came up with the sachet. Predominantly speaking to the needs of the low-income earners and telling them like, hey, you can still have the same quality product that is being consumed by that person who has money. And that way, and it speaks to the bigger to the bigger needs of our nation, we need to speak to the needs of the low-income earners. If someone is not able to earn a certain amount of money, it doesn't mean the person deserves to be in a low-cost housing. I mean, it doesn't mean the person needs to live in a slum.
Right.
We can find a way of building
quality at that level.
Quality at that level.
Right.
And quality in the sense that you're still able to accommodate these people, but maybe on a highly subsidized probably housing program, right? So that goes into even the products that we are sending out there. Being a low-income earner should never be substituted with low quality.
Right.
And manufacturers and anyone who is trying to get into business need to take a note of that. Get whatever product you're giving to the high-income earners, try to find a way of getting the same quality of product to the low-income earners at a price that they can afford, or at a price that they can be proud of. And I'm saying this because I've seen it in my home village, where my mom and my aunties have been selling these products, and they are making a lot of sales, not because they are vocal or they are moving around with the products or anything, but because people really need some of these things, but
they don't know how.
They always thought
it's a reserve.
It was a reserve of a certain class.
Okay.
And that's where we are, as Piquant Spices, we are trying to shift the thinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now you also mentioned that you were looking at an international approach in how this product is going to be out there, but also serving the needs of a local low-income earner and any common Kenyan who might want it. So how far out there has it gone?
So it's been interesting. We've been sending a lot of samples out there. We've sent samples as far as Canada, as far as US, as far as UK, Norway, Germany. Which other countries? In Africa, we've done Ghana. And yeah, so those are places we've sent samples. Then we're already serving the Tanzanian market. We're in over 10 supermarkets in Arusha and Dar es Salaam.
Nice.
In Somalia.
Uko yaitwa Piquant.
Labda wanaita Piquant. But they like it so much, especially the pilau. You know that the Swahili people have a pilau culture. Yeah. Na wameipenda. They really like this spice, and it's actually, if Kenya doesn't match up, Tanzania might actually end up becoming our biggest market.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Because of the pilau culture?
Because of the pilau culture, and of course the quality. They also appreciate the quality. Wanapenda vitu ambazo zimetengenezwa na Wakenya.
Kweli. And it's quality already.
Yeah, and it's quality. So we've also sent some consignment to Somalia, Mogadishu. I have a friend there who is also setting up. He's actually gone out of his way to set up a tea taking place. So Somalis are very good with tea. They have a tea culture. So he's setting up a shop that will be stocking our spices, and then he's also set up like a cafe where people can come in and take our tea masala. Oh, so specifically Piquant Spices. Right. So that already speaks to the potential that that is here in terms of how far we can go as local businesses. And now this sets a challenge to the government and any other institution responsible for creating an enabling environment, any institution responsible for making things easier for young Kenyans. I have the feeling that there's so much that we can do, considering the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, which presents
great opportunity for us.
A great opportunity. Like, think of just the consumer base within the East African community. Right. With DSA on board, we are talking about over 300 million people, right? So even if you got like 0.001% market share of just those that consumer base, we're in business, right? And we'll be able to massively solve the challenge of unemployment. Yeah. So I think for me, it's more of what we can do to make any young person or any person who is trying out their hand in manufacturing find a way of making their life better. And part of it is we're already paying VAT, by the way. From February we started filing for VAT. I actually filed for May, for May's returns yesterday. Okay. No, the day before yesterday. The deadline is usually every 20th of every 20th day of the month. Yeah. You know, for the previous month's returns. So we're already paying VAT, and I'm already feeling the pinch of having to give out so much to the government. Yet, I actually need that money so much to help me probably make increase my product portfolio, or even probably do some better marketing, or try to reach out to more markets. So ideally, the idea of tax holidays should be something that any government that is coming into power, it's something that they should embrace. They should
also consider for small business, because most tax holidays are given to large organizations, right?
Exactly. We are doing so much to the Japanese, the Chinese, whenever they're coming to set up here. You know, you hear that someone is enjoying like a 3 years tax holiday, or you know, someone has
a tax subsidy,
or we are even giving out land, right, to some of these companies. But if I'm a small manufacturer and I go ask for the same resource, most probably I'll have a very hard time. Yeah. And so I think itabidi tujipende. You know, we have to get to that point where we look at ourselves first, and look at what we can do here before we think of what we can create for others. Okay. And that goes into even that point of boosting our own self-esteem as a country, because I have a feeling that
it's dwindling.
It is. Anytime we try to push a made in Kenya product, there are always questions about quality, there are always questions about capacity. But who is going to build the quality and the capacity?
It's not us.
It's us. It's up to us, right? And that can only happen when we are very intentional, and when we are not killing our own industries, as it is happening right now. I'm seeing quite a number of companies closing down because of
one reason or the next.
Just very mere differences, right? Which ideally is sort of even killing the morale of some of us who are trying to set ourselves up.
That's true.
Yet, when you look at what the potential that such companies hold out there, it gives you the thought that probably there are some
things missing.
There's some things, or there are some things that we need to fix as a country.
All right. Yeah. Now, one last thing that I wanted to ask about. Wait, the prices of these ones, you didn't tell us.
Oh yeah, so the big ones go for 110 shillings.
Oh.
So that is the tea masala goes for 110, the pilau masala goes for 110 and 10, and the mixed spices goes for 130. So something more interesting is we are able to do free deliveries across the country. We found a way of partnering with a company known as Sandy. So they're able to deliver our products, whether you're in Kakamega or in Mombasa or in Isiolo. The products will get to you in a record 3 days. At least from the time you order, we give it 72 hours before it gets to you. But that's just out of Nairobi. But if you're within the Nairobi metropolitan area, you can get it within 24 hours. Nice. So if you place your order right now or before the day ends, you'll get your product tomorrow at your doorstep.
All right.
A rider will come and call you and tell you, hey, I'm just by your doorstep. I have your package.
Right.
And we are making sure that, again, we are making sure that delivery services is not a reserve for a few.
For a few people, yeah.
Let every Kenyan enjoy, even after spending like 350 shillings.
They can still get it.
They can still get the product at their doorstep.
Right.
So ideally, and what I'm trying to say is we are keen on disrupting the way things are. We are keen on bringing equality into the ecosystem.
Right.
And for us, it's not it's not so much about how much we are making, but about what we can, like the shifting of mindsets and the turnarounds that we can make within our local manufacturing industries, and also within our youth population. I'm still
a young person.
I'm in my early 30s, so it's still a very it's a way of also boosting the esteem of fellow young people to know that
they can get into
some of these things, and we don't have to run away to Europe or the Americas to
get what we think is quality.
What we think is quality, or to even earn a living from this country. Yeah.
The last thing that I wanted us to have a look at is now while you're doing this spices, of course, culture is an important thing, as you've noticed.
Yeah.
Different cultures have different food cultures. Yeah. The Kisis are known for eating a lot of matoke.
Yeah.
The Luo Nyanza known for eating fish.
Yeah.
You know, we go to Kericho, the tea is predominant there.
Yeah.
Does that also inform that maybe we create spices for that type of food culture? Something they can put in matoke, something they can put in fish.
Yeah, I saw one of our competitors has already developed githeri masala. And it's actually something
for Central Kenya.
Yeah, for Central Kenya and people who like githeri. So it might not be a surprise to see us making matoke masala.
Okay, I'd love that. That's the one I want for.
Matoke masala, it's coming. It's coming. We just need to get to know what is that. What is that in bananas that can, because again I say there's a science behind every spice. There's a science behind aroma. So you don't want to make a spice that is unnecessary. That will probably change the taste of the product to something that people may not like.
Okay.
Yeah, because some of these things are very sensitive. Like when it comes to taste and aroma, it's a sensitive things. Yeah, it's a sensitive thing, and you don't want to change people's culture. You just want to maybe spice up what they've been doing over the years.
All right, it's 9:47 in the morning. I think let's also get where they can get to order this from, online or physical locations.
Yeah,
that's yours.
Oh, sure. So currently in Nairobi, we have our products at Ibrahim Shopping Mall. That's along Moi Avenue. If you go to first floor, shop F1, you are going to get our products. Ibrahim Shopping Mall along Moi Avenue. First floor, shop F1. That is our first shop. Our second shop is along Tomboya Street. It's known as Shikilia Store. At Elroy Plaza, it's just between Odeon and Quickmart. So if you're just around Odeon and Quickmart and ask where Shikilia Store is, you're going to find our products there. For home deliveries or for deliveries countrywide, you can take our number 0746 120 440. 0746 120 440. So if you call that number or if you WhatsApp that number, we are going to take your order, and within a few hours your products will be dispatched to your location. Okay. And we have a way of, once you place your order, we have a way in which you're going to pay via till number. So there won't be any contact with there won't be like any physical contact, right?
Okay.
So in Thika, we've stocked in 5 mini marts. There's Goi supermarket. There's Valley mini mart near the vehicle inspection unit. There's Classic mini mart. I'm almost forgetting the others.
Right.
But yeah,
they can check those out.
They can check those out. We also have a couple of our salespersons in different parts of the country. Okay. In Mombasa, we have a lady known as Magdalene. Immediately after this, I'll just share her contacts on our social media pages. And
people can get to call that.
Yeah, people can get to call that. But as I said, if you call 0746 120 440, you're going to get everything sorted out.
All right.
And if you want to establish our markets in the diaspora, we are very keen on that. We have South Africa calling, we have Botswana calling, we have DRC calling. So those are countries that I know for sure we're going to stock before the year ends.
Okay.
And yeah, let's do this together.
Piquant spices.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Of course, I'm seeing here feedback moja, mbili, tatu, nne, tano. Let me just read one.
Sure.
Piquant saying, of course, brains. That's all he's seeing here on the show. Pascal Kalpas. Some of the packaging of Piquant spices is dope. Asante sana. And of course, make sure that you're reaching out to them on social media. Alafu watakwambia where you can get them. The number has already been shared, much more of course in the stores as well that they've mentioned in Nairobi, Thika, and the agents who are all over the country. Piquant spices, expand your palate, premium quality, and it's also 100% pure and natural, no additives. Jaribu, alafu you tell us what you think about it. Now it is 9:51 in the morning. I'd have loved to go for a break before I finish this show. However, time is not on our side and there's much more business to attend to. So I think, Stephen, you're going to be my co-host as we close the show. So let's go for that close of the show, and you can do it here. If you're my co-host, if you're my co-host for this show, how will you close it for today?
I just tell people to spice up their lives.
All right, spice up your lives.
Spice up your lives with Piquant spices.
All right, let's go for that break. I'm coming back.